Hi there. My name is Paul Syker, and I'm the founder and CEO of Advanced Recruiting Trends. If I were playing a word association game and was asked to respond to the term counteroffer, I think the very first word that would come to mind is yeesh. Honestly, counteroffers, as any seasoned recruiter can attest, are the epitome of wasted time and energy. I can remember years ago going to an art museum in Oslo, Norway, where I found myself gazing upon Edvard Munch's famous painting entitled The Scream. As I stared at the painting, I was taken back in time to my very first counteroffer experience. And let me assure you, it wasn't pleasant. You see, I thought I'd done everything right. I'd taken the time to earn my candidate's trust, and I'd identified a fantastic new opportunity. Heck, we'd broken bread together prior to his first day at the new job. And on that first day at approximately 8:30 a.m., I got a call from the VP of HR advising me that my best friend, George, had called. He wasn't coming. Game over. I was devastated, blown away, absolutely aghast. What happened? Why did this happen? How could this happen? Painful as this experience was, I learned a lot. Over my 2+ decades in recruiting, I've had only a handful of accepted counteroffers, and that's because I'm incredibly diligent about qualifying and requalifying candidates and leaving absolutely nothing to chance. If you're working with a quality candidate, you should anticipate the possibility or probability of a counteroffer. Given this, it becomes imperative to address counteroffers at the front end of the relationship. Honestly, I don't care if you're an in-house or third-party recruiter. If you're working with someone who is really skilled, you need to ask one very key question in your initial introductory discussion or interview. The question goes like this: Sue, having thought more about our initial discussion the other day and having reviewed your background, it's very clear that you possess great skills, experience, and ability, which leads me to a question. I'm curious, what exactly is your boss going to say when you tender your resignation? And we want to remain absolutely silent. The object of this exercise is to place the candidate into a situation that projects a near-term reality, the actual act of resignation. At this point, you must actively listen and observe. You may get a short, crisp response, wherein the candidate replies, "There's absolutely nothing they can do that would compel me to stay. My boss won't be happy, but I'm out of there. I'm ready to move on." Sometimes, however, you'll hear the candidate say, "Gee, I really hadn't thought about that," or "Boy, my boss is really going to be devastated." In this instance, we must patiently walk the candidate through the 3 phases of any resignation process. And if you want to know more about that topic, you should sign up for one of our outstanding recruitment training programs. Or, and this is an actual response reported to me at a training session that I conducted, the candidate may well say, "Well, my boss will probably give me a raise and some more responsibilities, just like she has the past 2 times I've tried to resign." Which leads to my second point. At the onset of our relationship with any candidate, we must ascertain and validate what is motivating them to consider making a change. And we must determine what steps, if any, the candidate has pursued to fix whatever isn't right or is missing within their current situation. Obviously, there are an array of motivators that time precludes me from addressing here, but suffice to say that if the candidate has not proactively attempted to resolve the issue that is compelling them to consider the other opportunities, you may well have a counteroffer in the making. 3, regardless of what may be motivating a candidate to consider a job change, I can assure you that if an individual holds his or her boss, an employer, in generally high regard, despite whatever is motivating their desire to make a change, there is an exponentially higher degree of a counteroffer being accepted. Remember, the current employer, albeit flawed, is still a known and generally comfortable quantity. A prospective employer is a relative unknown. Maybe at the end of an interview cycle, the candidate's invested perhaps a total of 6 hours in getting to know the organization. And ultimately, when the offer comes, they'll effectively be making a life decision on the basis of this 6-hour snapshot. And this is where fear of the unknown really presents itself. Recognizing this, some years ago, I built a short candidate work-life attitudinal survey, which is comprised of 10 questions that allow a candidate to rate how they perceive their current employer, boss, peers, work environment, etc., and that offers a recruiter the ability to better evaluate a candidate's potential for a counteroffer. While I don't necessarily use this tool with every candidate I engage, I have used this assessment very successfully with a variety of candidates. In particular, I found it especially valuable to more effectively communicate with passive or quasi-passive candidates, and I absolutely believe that it has enabled me to more effectively discern the degree to which a candidate may be vulnerable to a counteroffer, as well as candidly engage the candidate in a very open discussion about my specific concerns. So what are the questions that I ask? Simply put, I ask candidates to assign a 1 to 10 rating to the following questions, which are as follows. 1. What is the content and composition of your present job? 2. What's the ability and talent of your current supervisor? 3. What's the quality of your relationship with your current supervisor? 4. What's the ability and talent of current coworkers? 5. What is the quality and relationship that you have with your current coworkers? 6. What is the opportunity for advancement within your current employer? 7. What is the length of your current commute to work? 8. What is your current compensation and benefits like? 9. What is your overall happiness at your current employer? And 10. What is your ability to secure professional development? Now again, it's a 1 to 10 scale with each one of these different factors or criteria. And when you ask for input on these items, you not only lay the groundwork for a great discussion on a candidate's motivators, but you'll also obtain what's likely to be a very objective view of how a candidate regards key facets of his or her current employment situation. In closing, let me add one final thought. At the end of the day, all I want in any relationship with a candidate prospect is candor and transparency. I understand that human nature dictates that individuals will do what they perceive to be in their respective best interests. After all, that's the reason why candidates accept counteroffers in the first place. And truthfully, I have no objection with the idea of a candidate staying put in his or her current firm. What I can't tolerate, however, is the notion of investing any quantity of time unnecessarily into obtaining and presenting an employment offer that won't be accepted. Thankfully, my most recent accepted counteroffer took place 13 years ago. Hopefully that's the last one that I'll have to endure. One can hope. That's all for this presentation. Check back soon for other video posts in the interim. This is Paul Seiker wishing you ongoing recruiting success.